All right, let's do this. So we are playing, well, we are looking at the prototype for Foe Hunters. It's a cooperative fantasy adventure deck building game. It is coming back to Kickstarter at the end of this week or early next week, the week of June 1st through the 7th, for those that are watching this after the fact. But I received this game this week, and it looks awesome. It's one of the nicestly organized prototypes we have ever received. So I'm not going to show you what type of box this is, but I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with Smat Pack of the game Smagic, the Smattering. So very well designed prototype. Comes with a rulebook, everything you need to know to play, a frequently asked questions from playtesting, which designers out there, if you are going to do blind reviews or blind playtesting with reviewers, I highly recommend starting to keep one of these and send it with on your newer things, because you can't adjust, and he mentions it in the back of the rule book. This is all elements of this testing kit are prototype pieces. Card text and frames, as well as rulebook contents, will all be changed and updated before the live launch of Foe Hunters. They have dozens of card text changes, as well as a completely revised rulebook plan for the launch phase. Unfortunately, the testing kits are rather expensive, which I can totally understand. Jeff Gum, our co-host, creates prototypes, and they cost, I don't know what he pays for his custom cards, but easily $30 to $40 a clip. So they can't update them with every revision. So having a frequently asked questions, or even just like a rules change update guide, really helpful for reviewers like us. So these are stretch goals. It's an entire, it is a game up in and of itself. If you hear thunder, that is the apocalypse happening outside. But this is all different cards for stretch goal cards. Separated like a deck builder. It has, this was my favorite part, he's using his business cards as dividers. So dividers for the damage deck, different character decks. The artwork is not finished for this game, so some of the cards will say one art please. Those are placeholders. Totally understand that. And then he also included two-player variant foe cards. So I'm going to sit down here and goldfish a game with you guys and see if I can figure out how to play. So first things first, comes with a bunch of quick start cards, little rules tippy things. It comes with 6 of those. One thing I'm not sure of, it is 2 to 6 players. So think Marvel Legendary. Or if you're into bad deck builders, the DC deck builder. All right. So there are hero cards, city cards, and foe cards. He breaks them down in the rulebook as to what's what. All right, so if you're at home and you want to pause this or whatever and try and decipher the hieroglyphics off of my web camera, feel free. But we are going to look at setting up a game. Get a table with enough space to place a few decks of cards and some dice, and you are ready to set up. All right, so I shuffled a large city deck. Let me figure out where that is. Let's try this spot. Gremnar, those are the different heroes. Don't mind me, I am just learning a game live because why not? All right, so it looks like city cards have the purple bottom. So I'm going to try and find those. Nope. Maybe not. Oh, I'm an idiot. Hero cards. Guess this would help if I did look at this beforehand, but Why not? We got Emberglow the Flamebringer, which is a baddie card. We've got the Cult of Oleg Barth. More hero cards. Hero cards. Hero cards. Hero cards. Armor and damage. Alright, so where is the city deck? And I could just be missing something because I haven't read the rulebook all the way through. Highly, highly possible. I tend to jump the gun on things if you guys haven't figured that out by now from the show. All right, so it's not in the stretch goal deck. I hope this is entertaining for you, watching me fumble my way through a game, because this is what it's like when we learn new games on the show. It's a bunch of us just kind of bumblefootting around, figuring things out as we go. Kind of how the whole podcast goes. All right, let's slow down, take a step back. All right, so we got our foe cards, city cards. Okay. Okay, so these are the city cards. They have an XP value in the lower right corner. So I will give these a good shuffle. And by good shuffle, I mean awful, because I don't riffle shuffle, mostly because I can't. This is also why I don't do tournament play, because people will be like, you didn't shuffle your deck enough. Tournament shuffle, and they're like, you're taking too long. Delay of game, delay of play stage. All right, hose it. That's enough. All right, so there's my city deck. I will pull back his card. I will pull his little placeholder cards off. Really nice that they included the promotional materials, so then I can give them to my FLGS and tell Aaron of Cloud City Games or Jared to look into this when it releases. All right, so then I'm going to select a foe that I want to face. All right, well, do I want to go up against the Giant Dragon? Because that doesn't seem smart. Let's see. I think I'm going to go up against the Cult. The Cult of Oleg Barth. So we will put Baron von Emberglow back into the deck. So we need the foe card. All right, then each player selects a hero to play. So there are a couple to choose from. So I will set these over here. Those are damage cards. So I can play as Dorn Stoneblade, or maybe I'm feeling a little bit of Lilius, or perhaps a little Shael Bone Chatter, or Grimnar. I will show you all of these. So here's Grimnar. He's beautiful. Come on, focus. There we go. So Grimnar, he's a berserker, or maybe Bone Chatter, or there's our old pal Doran Stoneblade. Come on, focus up. We're doing so good. There we go. Doran. Or Lilius. Oh, come on, focus up. There we go. Got it. Maybe. There we go. All right. So for the sake of this, I'm going to play a Shael because that just seems cool. And then we will make, we'll have Katie play as Doran Stoneblade. And these two will return to the box because they won't be used. All right, and there is a martyr token for the paladin. All right, so each deck comes with each character comes with a starter deck, and they are different per character, which I think is kind of neat. A lot of deck builders start you out with a bunch of the same cards, and this one has every player kind of for themselves. Kind of reminds me of the Pathfinder adventure game, or I think that's the only one that really does it, where it's not really a deck builder, but you are telling a story as you go along, and cards get added and stuff. But definitely a cool idea. So there's Shadow Bone Chatter, and we will take out the Martyr Paladin card and shuffle this deck up. Let's see if we can't try playing an actual game. All right. So I'm going to need some life counters. And it just so happens that I have a ton of life counters. Just keep piling dice out, why not? I'll take all this D6s back because I probably won't need those. I think it's just spin downs that I'll need. So the prototype doesn't come with dice. I'm not sure the new Kickstarter page isn't up yet, but I do believe that the game comes with everything you need to play. This is just for us reviewers to learn with. All right. So We will start at 0 hero points. Let me get the ones that are easier to read. All right, and Oleg. Oh wait. Oleg Arth the Devourer has 50 life. So we will set that over there. So we'll place that there, and the foe deck gets shuffled up. And like most deck builders, there's a bit of setup to it, but overall it's nothing too intense. All right, so let's move the foe deck up here so that I can properly show you guys what's going on. And then this is our city deck. So I'll place that like this. Here is, in typical Rado fashion, here is Katie. And here I am. All right, so this is our health. So I will put that on each of us. And Katie actually starts with 42 health, because why not? And Tim starts with 21 health. So it looks like the Paladin is a pretty strong player, but I have a feeling he likes to run into dumb stuff. All right, so then we would each draw a card and gain 4 XP. So I'm going to draw my card, and I've drawn an Unearthed Acolyte. Redirect damage you would take to a minion you control. Whenever you play a card or draw a card, you may deal 1 spirit damage to a target. Probably pretty powerful card. Katie drew Building Righteousness. Deal 1 holy damage to each enemy target. Until the beginning of your next turn, the party receives +1 armor. All right, so starting the game. Foe Hunters is played in rounds, each round starting with the foe phase, followed by hero turns. Once the foe has gone and each hero has gone, a new round begins with the foe starting again. The foe phase trigger any beginning of foe phase effects on cards in play. Trigger any foe abilities that the foe has. These triggers trigger every foe turn no matter what. You play the top card of the foe deck and resolve the card. If it is a persistent ability, equipment, or vassal, put it into play near the foe deck. Otherwise, resolve the ability and place it in the foe discard pile. At the end of the foe phase, the party may collectively select a card in the city row to refresh. When you refresh a card, place the card into the city discard pile, and then put the top card of the city deck into the city row. There should always be 4 cards in the city row. On a hero's turn, you trigger any beginning of turn effects, such as draw a card at the beginning of your turn. Remove any until the beginning of your next turn effects, such as until the beginning of your next turn, gain +1 damage. Ready any armor tokens you have in play. And draw 1 card from your hero deck. Now you can take your turn. During your turn, you may do each of the following in any order. Play 1 card from your hand. If it is a minion, persistent ability, or equipment, put it into play. Otherwise, resolve the ability and put it into your discard pile. You can activate 1 feat. This feat will be either from a card you have in play or from your hero. To activate a feat, you just state that you are using it and then resolve the effects. Or you can purchase a card from the city row. When you purchase a card from the city row, you simply deduct the cost from your hero's XP pool and then place the card in your hand. Okay, so the XP is your money. Makes sense. At the end of the turn, replace the card you purchased from the city row with the top card of the city deck. So you trade your XP in to buy cards. They go directly to your hand, not into your deck. The game ends when either the foe's hit points are reduced to 0 or every hero is disabled, whichever happens first. Purchasing cards and experience. Foe Hunters is unlike most other deck building games, as you will soon find out. There are a couple of unique things that make Foe Hunters different. When you purchase a card from the city row, it goes directly to your hand, not to your discard. The purchase card is available immediately to play if you can still play cards that turn. You do not spend cards to buy cards. Each player has an experience pool for their hero as they accumulate experience in the game. This pool grows. They use this pool to purchase cards from the city row. When you purchase a card in Foe Hunters, you simply deduct the card's cost from your hero's experience pool and put the card in your hand. You may play the card immediately or hang on to it to play at a later time. Once you play a card purchased from the city row and it goes to your discard pile, you can use the card again once you shuffle your discard pile. Another aspect of purchasing cards is card affinity. Most cards in the city row will have a color coding red for physical, blue for caster, or green for support, and an affinity small bar above the type of the above the type bar of the card. So this is its type. The top is the affinity. So I am playing the Necromancer. So this card would be good for my deck. The color coding makes it easy to distinguish which types of cards are generally better for your hero. If you are playing a support hero, generally the green coded cards will be better for you and the performance of the party. The affinity allows you to purchase cards at a discount of 1 experience if it matches the hero class you are playing. For example, if a card is in the city row that costs 3 and has affinity Berserker, any player may purchase that card for 3 experience. The player with the Berserker hero may purchase that card for 2 experience. But you can purchase any card at any time. When you play a card, you take it from your hand and either put it into play if it is a minion, persistent ability, or equipment, or you resolve the effects and place it into your discard pile. Armor is granted by some abilities, persistent abilities, or equipment. Some of these offer static armor, and some armor dissipates at the beginning of your hero turn. For each armor your hero has, you gain an armor token, which is this. Damn it. So you would gain a armor token. At the beginning of your hero turn, you ready, turn it from sideways to upright. Whenever your hero would take damage, you may exhaust an armor. Exhaust. And reduce that amount of damage by the number of armor you exhausted. For example, if your hero would take 2 damage and you have 1 armor ready, you may exhaust that armor and only take 1 damage. Each player is limited to a hand size of 7 cards at the end of their turn. A player can have more than 7 cards in their hand at one time, but they must discard down to 7 at the end of their turn. If a card or effect refers to H, it means the number of heroes in the party. For example, if it is a 4-player game, H will equal 4. When your hero's hit points are reduced to 0, your character is incapacitated. Flip your hero card over and indicate that you are incapacitated. Luckily, you can still contribute to the party, just not as well as before. When your hero is flipped, discard your hand and all cards you have in play. For the rest of the game, you cannot have any cards in play, and your hero cannot be healed. A hero that is incapacitated has the following turn order. You ignore all the beginning of your turn effects. You reveal the top card from your hero deck. If it is an ability, you may play it, making all decisions for the card. Once it is resolved, you place it in your discard pile. If you reveal any other type of card, such as persistent ability or minion, place it into your discard pile. And then you get to grant a hero of your choice 1 experience point. Sorry. After each of these steps happen, your turn ends as normal. Even though your hero is incapacitated, you can still contribute to the battle. The foe is the central antagonist in a game of foe hunters, and their goal is simple: destroy the party. The foe plays autonomously, and its operation is fairly simple. Each foe starts with its card on the phase 1 side, and will have specific instructions about the condition that makes it flip. Whenever the requirement for transitioning into phase 2 is met, whether it is a foe turn or a hero turn, flip the foe to phase 2 and follow any instructions on that side for when the foe flips. Foes retain damage dealt to them between phases. Foe Hunters has several different card types, so it goes over the card types, and that's it. So fairly straightforward deck builder. The only major difference is the fact that when you buy a card, it goes directly to your hand. So this seems like one of those cool games that you can play face up. I will not go through an entire playthrough of it. I am getting tired, and I know baby's going to wake up soon. But I hope that this has given you a bit of an introduction into it, and you can see how a basic game is set up. You have your foe deck right here, your city deck with your 4 cards, and you can, I mean, I'm laying them out this way because it saves space on the map, but, you know, city deck. Your deck, your hero, and your hand. And then use different counters to keep everything up. When I get the guys together and we do an episode for this, we will absolutely record some video for it, and you will get to see how a game of this actually goes through. This looks pretty cool, so I am very excited to play it. And it seems fairly simple. Like, I'll go through a basic turn. So it is my turn. I will use one of my quick start things. I don't have any armor or anything, so I have a feat as an ability. And then I would draw a card. I'm going to try and keep my play area tight so I can show you everything that I'm doing. All right, so I drew a new card, and it is Corpse Stance Dagger. It's equipment. The first time a minion you control deals damage, each turn heal your hero for 2 hit points. But I forgot something very important. Before I draw that card, and before I take my turn, I have to do the foe's turn. So I will recombine all of this over here. And I just flip over. So the foe that I'm going up against is the Cult of Oleg Arth. The beginning of the foe phase, place a hit marker on this card. Whenever it has 5 hit markers, flip it. The first time each turn a cultist is put into play, each hero takes 2 spirit damage. So there's a bunch of different types of damage that occurs, and I have a feeling that there's certain things that affect what type of damage can hurt you. All right, so it is the beginning of a foe phase, so I put a hit marker on it. The first card is Mark of Oleg Arth. It is a persistent ability, increase all damage by 1. So that's that. So now I would draw a card. So I can choose to play a card from my hand, and I will put my Unearthed Acolyte out into play. It's a minion, so it just stays out there, and it has 5 hit points. So I have a feeling that this, you play a bunch of shields out in front of you. This, you are kind of naked to the wind and hope for the best. I can purchase a card from the city deck, which I will do. I'll spend 3 experience points to buy a Crypt Minder. And I can activate a feat. If I discard a card, I may return a minion from my graveyard to play. So I'm not going to do that. And that would be the end of my turn. So then it would be Katie's turn, and she would draw a card. We would restock the city deck. Oh, that's sweet. Katie got a pretty cool card. And she doesn't have any cards really to play out there. Actually, no. She'll put Lay on Hands out. It is a persistent ability. If another hero would die and your hero is alive, sacrifice Lay on Hands. If you do, that hero goes to 1 hit point instead and is immune to damage until the beginning of the next turn. Right, and that would end a round. So we would decide if there was a card in here that we wanted to remove, which we do. Strong Draw will get removed, and we will bring in Phoenix Blood Potion. Oh wait, I didn't decide if Katie wanted to buy a card or not. Actually, yeah. Katie's going to buy Hallowed Resistance, which is choose a damage type until the beginning of your next turn. The party is immune to the chosen type of damage. So already those specific damage types are coming into play. Alright, so then we would bump him up to 2, flip this card over. It's a persistent ability. Whenever the first cultist a turn is played, each hero must sacrifice a persistent ability, minion, or equipment. That is brutal. And then we would continue on. So once this gets to 5, then we flip it over. I think that's a hit marker, so unless there's stuff that allows you to tweak hit markers, it's 5 turns, and then that flips over and becomes ugly. But all in all, it seems like a very cool game. It should be pretty fun. I could see it being difficult and challenging, and there's a lot of cooperative and very strong cooperative nature to it, and a lot of communication would need to be going on, but it should be pretty fun when we finally get to play it. And with the expansion cards, all of the stretch goal cards, that looks really, really cool. Bunch of different character classes. I think there's other villains in it. So, yeah. With that, this has been another unboxing with Sorry Man I Farted, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Look forward to Foe Hunters coming to Kickstarter in the next week or two. If you get a chance, by all means, look at it and purchase it. Give them your hard-earned dollars if you feel that they've earned it. And we will talk to you soon.